I give this like I give this a dead on arrival. Straight up a dead on arrival. So what we're gonna do now is look at look at this. Nobody wants this. We're gonna react to this video about how no one wants this. How could you say something so controversial yet so brave? Mr. Legendary drops. I can't wait to see this video. Give this guy a like. I probably will, but I wait till after the video's done before I give it a like and a sub. If it's something I actually like I've never seen this guy's video yet, so I have no idea. I always only watch videos for the very first time with you guys. So if it is good, I mean, I will link it in chat, and you guys can give it a like and a sub as well. Any video that we react to and I make content out of, I always showcase the author as well. I always link their video and everything, and if we do like it, we will. Ashes of Creation, I've covered that many times, Samisuke. I love Ashes of Creation. Super excited for it. Probably the next long form video that will go up on the YouTube channel, Samisuke, is indeed going to be showcasing a large video of Ashes of Creation. You know, I'm bringing that up because we just watched like half an hour of complete dog water. So, yeah.
Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League is dead on arrival, and I can't say it's
Oh my god, I just said that. Oh my god, I literally just said dead on arrival. This guy is so smart. This guy is amazing. Holy sh! 10 out of 10 video already. An absolute... Do you know what, man? Whenever someone agrees with me, they're just so smart, guys. They're just brilliant. They deserve nothing but love. Absolutely. I think that's fan concept trailer, Hamshank. It's not the actual trailer. It just looks. It's like a well-made fan trailer. Is the problem?
surprises me or anybody else because the writing was on the wall.
It says it in the
the
description.
minute they announced the game. Now, with that said, I want to talk about some of the hate surrounding the game. I want to talk
Fade,
about
it's so good to see you, my friend. Hope we'll catch you soon.
More than anything,
We're still
I
on
want
every
to talk
night.
about
Hop
how
in anytime. We
can
love you tons.
avoid things
For
like
Able
this
Alert,
in the future, because if we don't, we're going to see the loss of some of our favorite franchises.
I agree. Bully the developers, not the actual people who made the game. Bully the executives. The executives at Warner Brothers were the ones who could not resist making another making another soulless cash grab. That is who. That is who. Shots and shoddy a beer and then go to bed? You're good. Wait, Samasuke, you're gonna have like the worst sleep ever if you drink that. Drink some water before you go to sleep, bro. All right? Have a good night, my friend. Thank you for hopping on in, hanging on out. You're Irish? That doesn't mean anything.
And a lot of people are going to be without a job.
Yeah.
Over
you know, he's right. Actually, the problem is that the developers who tried their best to make a good game from a idea and with pressure to make a live service game that they never wanted to make, I bet you the developers of this game never wanted to make this game. Like, dude, they just made the entire Arkham trilogy. Why the they want to make this game? They don't want to make this game. Absolutely not. They have no desire to make this game. They're still trying their best, though. And the problem is, they're the ones that are going to be they're the ones that are going to be fired for this. They're going to be the ones that when this game comes out and it does not sell well, they'll be the ones laid off. And it's really, really, really sucks. It really, really, really sucks.
Writes last month in Los Angeles.
Jason Schreier might be one of the few really decent, consistent journalists out there for gaming. Last month in Los Angeles, video game journalists got to play a few hours of the upcoming Suicide. This is the thing I saw. This was the only snippet I've seen, and it wasn't from this video. It was actually from Jason Schreier himself. I think he tweeted it. This week they published previews, and the results weren't pretty. Quote, I left the preview event less optimistic than I came in, wrote IGN. For IGN to say that, guys, you don't understand how bad a game has to be for IGN to say that. Like, that means this shit is
got
ass.
To play a few hours of the upcoming Suicide Squad game from Warner Brothers.
Oh, he just read it out.
They
Sorry.
published previews, and the results weren't pretty. I left the preview feeling less optimistic than I came in, wrote IGN's Destin Liguri. Eurogamer lamented, this might not be the superhero fantasy you were looking for. Negativity is long surrounded...
I mean, my problem... Yeah, okay. Yes, negativity is long surrounded Suicide Squad. But dude, we've known this game is going to be bad for 2 years. They've delayed it 5 times because of it. They literally have delayed the game to the point that, like, they actually can't delay it anymore without just straight up canceling it. And they can't cancel it because they're trying to make some money back and at least give it a loss. IGN will still give it a 7? I don't think so. They gave Redfall like a 3 or something. They gave Gollum like a 2, and they actually gave the day before a 1. So they've started to give actually bad games legitimately bad scores. It's because us consumers have legitimately bullied them to finally doing real shit. Yeah. Exactly. Julian, like I said in the previous video, man, we need to bring back bullying. Not in a bad way, not in a toxic way, but as in calling out bad behavior and saying we're not gonna deal with your bad behavior anymore, like at all. And we will call it out every time you do it. Every time IGN, like when I started on Twitter, I went on every single IGN article I possibly could, and every single time they had a bad take, I called out their bad take. Why? Because A, it's fun, and B, I feel like at least some people see it and, you know, think, you know what? Maybe this CapCorgi guy is right. Maybe IGN should actually give real reviews. Huh. And I think slowly, but I'm not saying I started the movement by any means, but I definitely joined in the movement. And I think if every person says it, the squeaky wheels get the oil. And it looks like they've started to do some real life, like, hey, maybe we should give some real scores and not give everything a ubiquitous score of 7. Dark Shade always says this is not Honkai Star Rail. That's the joke. Yeah.
Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, which comes out on February 2nd.
Oh yeah, Hamshay.
In part because the
I agree.
franchise is underperformed, but mostly because the game is illustrative of the type of trend.
Wait, why is Harley Quinn floating? Wait, what is going on in this background? Hold on.
Fantasy you were looking for. Negativity has long surrounded Suicide Squad Kills
She's
the Justice
literally
League,
just...
which comes out on February 2nd.
Is this a
In part
bug?
because the franchise is underperformed, but mostly because the game is illustrative of the type of
she's
trend
just
chasing
floating
that has
and
led to a lot of
rotating.
heartbreak over the years. Rocksteady Studios, the London-based developer behind the game,
What
was
is
once
this?
an industry darling thanks to its critically...
Yeah, man, again, like the fact that it's the Batman Arkham series makers. Dude, Batman Arkham Asylum is so good that the game is 15 years old and it still holds up. Like, I played it for the first time on stream. Sorry, Arkham City. I played Arkham Asylum when it came out, and it was an absolute banger. I played Arkham City, which is, you know, what, like 12 years old or something. And I played that on stream for the first time last year. Or was it year before? Either way. It was on stream, and I had not played it beforehand. I only played Arkham Asylum, and that was it. And 100% Arkham Asylum. I loved it. Arkham City is 12 years old, and I played it, and I was like, man, this is like a good game today. Like, this is legitimately just a good game. It's so good, I don't even feel the age. It's like Dead Space. Dead Space 1 and 2. Like, Dead Space 1, the OG, I didn't even play the remaster. We played the original game, the first Dead Space, like the OG port, 2 years ago. During October is when we started it. I did not play Origins or Night, no. I only had time to play the other one. We did not play the new one either, no. So the OG Dead Space, I played through Dead Space 1, and I was like, dude, how is this game 20 years old? This game is insane. People told me the year it came out, and I was like, there's no way. Like, there's no way this game is that old. It feels much newer than that. And I looked up the date on stream after we finished the game, like when the game was published, and I was like, holy shit. This is amazing for 20 years old. Like, what in the world? And then Dead Space 2, they took everything great about Dead Space 1 and made it even better. I was like, dude, Dead Space 1 is a 10 out of 10 game. There's no way Dead Space 2 will be good. Just mentally, I was like, there's no way. And somehow Dead Space 2 is even better. And it's just like, how the hell? And the same thing happened with Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. Arkham City was better than Arkham Asylum in pretty much every single way. It was bonkers, man. Like that thing is like 12 years old. It is so crazy. It is so crazy. Yeah, Dead Space 3 was bad because EA made it into a soulless microtransaction cash grab. Exactly, Dartstuff. That is exactly what they're doing here. That is it's WB here. WB is taking an amazing game series and making it a literal soulless cash grab. That is you are correct. And that's why I use Dead Space as the analogy.
Named Batman Arkham series, which revolutionized superhero games with innovative gameplay and original stories rather than movie tie-ins. Then the company had announced that it had pivoted from narrative single-player action games to a third-person multiplayer shooter.
Oh, God. Like, dude. Narrative, heavy story focus, single-player, action game. Like, these are things that I love. And then they're like, third person. You're like, all right, that's okay. You know, change your perspective. Not too bad. Multiplayer. Wait, what? Shooter. Wait, what? Wait, what? Why? What? Wait, they're not even saying the word narrative anymore. Wait, what happened? What happened? Dude, they took everything great about Batman Arkham and they just changed everything about it. They're just like, you know what? We're going to do none of the above. Literally none of the above.
Dismaying fans. I've always had this distinction between superhero video game and a game that just so happens to be about superheroes. And I feel like the latter is the one that Rocksteady Studios always leaned on because, well, it felt like they made a game first that just so happened to be about Batman.
No, wait, what? I disagree with this take. Dude, this game is bad because the gameplay looks like absolute, unabashed ass. That is why this game looks bad. Like, Batman was good because the gameplay was innovative. It was fun. It felt like it had impact. Throwing a batarang made people react. Punching someone, literally, it felt like you were knocking them the absolute F out. Like, you took a guy, his neck, and you, like, just choked him out. And it was like a stealth kill. Not stealth knockout. Even though, you know, it's Batman. You're like, you're definitely injuring this guy for life. Hell, they even kept that little trope from the comics. They're just like, yeah, Batman beats the shit out of these guys. And, like, gives them life-debilitating illnesses because he's beating them so hard. And, yeah, but the problem is, Greatest Goose, this is an example. There's no impact to anything in this Justice League game. And it's the same people who made the Arkham games where everything had real impact. And it's just like, dude, what? How? How does everything have impact in those first games from 20 years ago, even? And this one is even worse. Like, what in the world? You're acknowledging? Yeah, exactly. We're agreeing. Exactly. Oh my God. It's ridiculous, man. It's absolutely ridiculous.
And it was something that really resonated with people because they made such a great game in the first.
If this game was good, if the gameplay was good, not a single person would be complaining. Dude, I love the Suicide Squad movies. I love Harlequin as a character. King Shark is really dumb and really fun. Captain Boomerang is like the complete anti-hero, absolute asshole. And the way he's played in the movies is, you know, like really an asshole. And it's almost endearing how much of an ass he is. If the game had personality and was good, no one would complain. Everyone would only be cheering for this game. We don't even mind the fact that, like, you know, the superheroes are the villains. Like, dude, they did this shit in Injustice. And it's like, you know, I didn't really like Injustice because the gameplay was not fun for me. I like, you know, good fighting games and not Injustice. But the storyline of Injustice was fine. Like, that was not really a problem. It just, is it a good game? That's what matters. And this just, dude, this game is just not good. Suicide Squad is just not good. Everything about it is not good. The voice acting,
they ended up
not
building
good.
This really
the
strong
gameplay,
audience,
not
really strong
good.
following. However, now we have Warner Brothers wanting to come in and exploit all of that goodwill.
Yes. Again, it is the producers of this game. It is Warner Brothers. It is the executives that are like, They look at the numbers. So you know the problem. You know why we get so much ass these days? We get so many really really good games, but every so often there's this situation where, just like Redfall, Marvel's Avengers, the Justice League, Kill the Justice League, whatever, Gotham Knights, they basically take a game. This is the execs. They look at the numbers of the game. They're like, wow, 10 million people bought this game. We can use this already established audience and milk them. And we can be the next Fortnite. We can make the next Fortnite. We can get billions of dollars instead of millions of dollars. We can get hundreds of millions of dollars. And they just can't help themselves. They literally just can't. They just cannot help themselves, guys. They look at the numbers and they start fucking slobbering. Like, absolute pigs looking at like a trough of food. They're like, that's exactly what they look like, okay? Instead of looking at, wow, Dead Space 1 only, took blah, blah, blah millions of dollars to make. It made like 10 times the value and profit. It was a really good game and it sold well. People played it, enjoyed it, and then they were done with it. And people will continue playing it every so often. It's just a good game. They don't look at games like that. These executives, they don't look at games. And also the other problem is they look at Fortnite. They try to get the Fortnite numbers, right, guys? But they don't make a game as good as Fortnite. Like, I don't like Fortnite because I don't like BRs. But there's no doubting why Fortnite is popular. Fortnite is popular because it has good gameplay for people who like that kind of game, for people who like BRs, like shooters. I'm not one of them, but those people who, dude, have you ever talked to a person who likes Fortnite? They love Fortnite. They espouse the values of Fortnite. Even when they disagree with the direction the game went, with, like making buildings so high or whatever like that, they still talk about how unique it is, how well made it is, how much effort the devs put into it. They make it good. Isn't Tarkov like a BR? No. The reason I like Tarkov is it's not a BR at all. BRs, you have to be the last man standing. You're trying to kill the other people. Tarkov is a game where you're in the back and you can play really sneaky and tactically and win fights that way, or you can choose to not fight at all. There's so many raids where I just don't fight anyone. I'm just so sneaky. I get my loot, complete whatever quest I need to, and I get out of the map. And I've completed my quest. I progressed my character and everything, and I didn't have to fight a single person. And that's why I like Tarkov, Julian. That's why I like Tarkov. When we were playing Tarkov last night, I had a quest where I had to kill people, and I beforehand in other wipes I just didn't even bother doing that quest. I just didn't do it. Like, I was like, that's screw it, I'm just not gonna do it. But I was just like, I'm actually doing pretty good. Let's see if I can actually pull this off. And I pushed myself, and I ended up being able to do it. But like, generally, you don't have to fight people for 99% of the quests that I've come across so far, at least. So, which is really, really cool. A Twisted Path. What is that? I don't know what that is. Hamshank, you have to link me that in Discord. I'd love to check that out. Helldivers 2? Yeah, Helldivers 2 looks pretty cool. We watched the trailers for that.
So that they can try to pull in all those microtransaction live service dollars, because that's exactly what this situation is. It's trend chasing.
Look at how
Jason Schreier's absolutely right on.
Look at how smart this guy is, man. I like this guy. You know what? Normally I wait for the end of the video before I give it a like and a sub, but he's agreeing with every single thing I'm saying. This guy is actually smart. So I like this guy. You know what? I've never seen this guy's video before. Legendary Drops. So that's what this guy's name. I'm looking at it in chat, by the way, before I forget. This guy is smart. He's agreeing with every single thing I'm saying.
Just a surface level thing where people want to be Fortnite, they want to be Call of Duty, they want to be all these live service games that are making all of this money. No, it actually...
He even said Fortnite. Man. Look at that. It's like the point is so good, it is like a universal point. I bet you, like, anyone reviewing this is probably going to make a similar connections, because they all have brains, and they're all like, I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to get that Fortnite dollars. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
The core root of this issue is that who are you making these games for?
They're making this game trying to get the Fortnite community and the Arkham community. They're like, if we get both the Fortnite community and the Arkham community, we'll make billions of dollars. Oh my god. Not realizing that the gameplay is so ass, neither community will play it. And this game will be literally dead on arrival. But that's what they're going for. And I know what he's trying to say. Like, I'm not disagreeing with him. He's asking a rhetorical question to the audience, basically trying to make you think of the fact that there's no audience for this game. And his point is correct. But I'm just taking the rhetorical question and I'm actually answering it.
It doesn't make a lot of sense to look at the audience that Rocksteady has built over this time and say, oh, well, yeah, we're going to make them a looter shooter.
Yeah.
What? How do you know that audience even plays those games to begin?
See, that's the thing. I don't know if he knows, but the marketing execs at Warner Brothers in this example, they don't play video games, guys. Like, that's why we have so many games that are tone deaf, which have nothing to do with anything you or I like in gaming, because they're not listening to us. They're listening to marketers that have no business being in video game research or anything like that. And they're just like, well, you know, Fortnite made a lot of money, and that's a live service game. We should make more live service games. That's why Sony, even a company as large as Sony, has made a giant push for live service, because they're desperately going for that bag. And they don't realize that so many live service games are just ass. So when a live service game is ass, you spend like $100 to $200 million making the game, and you lose it all. This has happened like 7 times in the past 2 years, where a live service game that costed like hundreds of millions of dollars to make has completely shut down. And you know, Marvel's Avengers being one example, Redfall being another. Gotham Knights, I think, is already dead. Redfall announced that it was closing the servers at some point soon. What is it called? Back for Blood, which I even liked. Like, as a game, I thought it was actually legitimately good. But it was made as a live service game, and as a result, people weren't really paying enough on the live service game. They decided to shut it down. So the game that I like, Back for Blood, I will probably never be able to play again, even though I legitimately liked it. Like, it's brutal, man. Live service games are insane. Live service games are absolutely insane. Game I shared with you, dev team actually plays the game, spent 60 hours a week trying to find glitches. Dude, I love that energy, Hamshank. A company that actually cares about their game and like tries to find glitches and stuff, that's honestly a little rarer now. Left 4 Dead is just better. I see, I didn't actually grow up with Left 4 Dead, Phoenix Lark. I went back after Back 4 Blood came out, and I played a little bit Left 4 Dead with my friends, and I like playing with friends and stuff, but Back 4 Blood was ahead in many, many ways. Like, it was a legitimately good game. I don't actually consider Left 4 Dead better. I consider parts of Left 4 Dead, a couple of them, better. Like, the fact that Left 4 Dead's versus system was 2 teams going through the map against each other kind of thing. And I like that versus mode much better than Back 4 Blood. Back 4 Blood was just like kind of like a deathmatch mode almost, and it was not good. So that by far was the most repetitive way of playing Left 4 Dead 2 and 1, and that is why Left 4 Dead 2 and 1 were so popular for a long time. That aspect of it absolutely was very, very better. But the perk card system in Back 4 Blood was really, really cool. You could make all kinds of awesome builds. And Back 4 Blood, Left 4 Dead, there's no customization, nothing. You couldn't customize guns. You can customize items. You can customize runs. You can customize your builds or talents or skills or anything. Nothing. And that's fine. Like, Left 4 Dead was a great game, no doubt, and I liked playing it for a couple of streams and such. But like going from Back 4 Blood to Left 4 Dead, I was like, man, there's so much missing from this. Yeah, without Valve, no one would play it. Yeah, exactly. And also, like, the problem with Back 4 Blood was that it ran out of steam too fast, and also the dev process to make good content was too slow. And so, like, they made DLCs once every 6 months. Everyone came back to play through the DLC and then like stop playing it. And that's the problem with live service games. They're very expensive to develop for, and they ran into money problems. That legitimately was the issue, which is very sad, because like that was even a decent live service game, and it just wasn't good enough at like keeping people engaged and such.
And with, especially when historically the games that they have been purchasing from you are single player action games.
Right.
It doesn't really make a lot of sense.
I agree with this
that
point,
we've
though.
seen throughout the industry time and time again. Redfall is another example, a perfect example of this, because they're going to mirror each other.
Look at that. He agrees with me. What a smart guy. He's
Not
so smart,
only
guys.
in their sales, but also in the downfall of the game as well.
He's so smart. I need some Corgi Smart emotes.
Made for?
Do I still have the Corgi Smart emote?
Arcane, out of all studios, to be making a vampire looter shooter. Nobody.
There you go. This is the Corgi Smart emote. Look how smart he is.
Suggest it won't be what many Arkham fans want from Rocksteady. Suicide Squad is an online live service game with cosmetic microtransactions.
Oh my god. Oh, dude, it's like the 4 horses of the apocalypse for a game. Live service, always online, microtransaction. Add to that FOMO, because add to that battle pass. It's like all of the apocalypses for every single game that we don't like. It's amazing that they crammed all of these bad things that we didn't like in like 7 other games, and they put it all into this game as well. It's like, dude, what? We already proved we don't like this shit. And shit, man, look at Grand Theft Auto 5. Grand Theft Auto 5's worst part is the online. Like, Grand Theft Auto 5, a lot of people have issue with Grand Theft Auto 5's online, like, live service bullshit. You have to buy so much money and such with your real money. And they made it like a live service thing that they kept going for 10 years, living off the dividends of people just being addicted to live service shit. I hate that aspect of Grand Theft Auto 5. That's one reason I mean I will play live service. I will play Grand Theft Auto 5, at least a single player at some point, because I have played a single player of other Grand Theft Auto games, and I heard 5 was pretty good for that as well. But man, just that aspect of the online live service FOMO bullshit is one reason I've not played Grand Theft Auto 5 yet, and it's been 10 years. I could have played it at any time. I don't want to play it. It's part of me just really doesn't want to go through it. Like, it's just so dumb that they have it that
continue
way.
After the launch, as Warner Brothers
and it's just such an obvious cash grab.
Grand Theft Auto 5 and Fortnite Dragons.
And I hate when they make an obvious cash grab completely disrespecting the consumer. Like, if they make it and they're like, you know, this is a really interesting thing. We're really trying to make this work. We're adding a lot of value here. We want to really like make this engaging for the consumer, and we're trying something new, and it fails. I at least respect that. I absolutely, at least on some level, even if I don't particularly think the game is amazing or something, I respect it. I respect Fortnite. I don't play or like Fortnite because it's not my style of game, but I respect it. I don't respect this shit. This shit is what I really don't respect. Why they took multiverses? No, they took multiverses away because the numbers of people playing multiverses dropped dramatically. And they were like, hey, if we take everything away, act like we're fixing the game. And I don't know if they're going to actually fix the game or not. Who knows? And then we re-release it as like a relaunch. Everyone will start playing the game again. That's exactly why they did it, Hamshank. They when they released it, it was like a super early beta. And they're like, we're going to re-release it and make a big like to-do about it. And everyone will play it at the same time again. And the numbers will be high. That is exactly why.
These games as a service, which are monetized long after release, are...
I'm a business guy. I can tell you what these asshole execs are saying because I've worked with asshole execs a lot. I can tell you exactly why this doesn't work as well. I fixed a lot of companies that go through this exact thing where they chase a trend and they try to get that bag and they literally sell out their core audience, their core business model for, you know, just a few extra bucks, thinking that they'll, you know, hit it real big, and they make the gamble and they lose everything. They lose literally everything. have seen it so many times in other styles of business, well away from gaming. And it's very, very clear that it happens in gaming right here as well. And welcome, Cheddarfish. Good to see you, buddy. And good to see you, Dark Feather. We're talking about some just chatting goodness with what we see as the worst game upcoming of 2024.
So appealing to executives that Warner Brothers Discovery Inc. CEO
Oh
David Zaslav recently said all their big games would follow suit moving.
Warner Brothers is not even going to take the loss of this game as a lesson. They're going to make more games like this, guys. Look at this. Dude, David Zaslav is an absolute buffoon. He's an absolute idiot. What in the world? Oh, let's re-listen to that. I can't even believe this idiocy, chat.
Have recently said all their big games would follow suit moving forward.
Oh my god. All their big games, all of WB's big games are going to be live service shit. To be fair, this is exactly what Sony said as well. Sony has tried to develop literally 7 huge live service games to the point that it's hurt the studios making them. They tried to, Sony and Sega tried to force CA to do exactly that. CA makes the Total War Warhammer games, which are really good, the Total War games. And they tried to make, they spent, we covered this in great detail a bit ago. And they tried to make, for $200 million, an online live shooter, live service looter shooter game called Hyenas. $200 million was spent on that game. And it completely and utterly failed to the point that they shut down the game before it even launched. They were like, dude, their internal marketing was like, dude, this is just ass. We can't release this game. It's just so fucking bad. It's just so funny. But the problem was that Hyenas costed so much money while already being a failure, Julian, that it affected the series that of games that we actually play, namely the Total War games. Thankfully, though, they had such a call out and everything by the entire community, literally uniting and talking on the same voice for the first time in ages. It's so hard for gamers. Gamers are so insular and they're so argumentative that it's so hard for gamers to agree on anything. And so the fact that, like, in this instance, for example, with all the Warhammer players, the Total War players, all the Total War community came together in one message for the first time, like, ever. And they were like, we don't want our games to suffer from live service bullshit. So if you're going to make us pay more for DLCs on Total War games and give us less quality, we're not going to buy them. You give us the quality we're accustomed to because, damn it, we're the ones paying your paycheck. And they said this in such a loud voice to the point that Sega actually was forced to get rid of the executives. Like 5 different major executives that made this boneheaded decision, try to make Hyenas. They got rid of them, amongst other people as well. And they at least have had a strong apology, and that hopefully the DLCs moving forward for Total War Warhammer 3, for example, will be much better. And they did a whole bunch of other actual steps to, apologize through action to the community as well, which is huge. But most game companies don't even bother doing that, and they just close down. And I fear that Warner Brothers is going to do irreparable harm to Rocksteady Games with this piece of shit game as well. Exactly.
We have seen so many
Great Excuse. I actually made a video about it. You should look on the YouTube.
So many layoffs over the last couple of years.
Talking about the entire situation.
This year. And while some of that has
Hail
to do
to
with
Queen.
the
Welcome,
rise of AI or just general bloat in the tech industry, it goes beyond
Dreamcast
that.
is super
what
good.
It ends up actually
I love the
being
Dreamcast.
is, well, executives like David Zaslav that believe that they can just go and chase these Fortnite and Grand Theft Auto dollars.
Yeah.
That's not how this works. You have to already have a franchise, or you have to have had something that's already bringing these people in to begin with.
Also, you have to make the game good. Like, I like this guy. He's saying a lot of really good points, but I think he misses the biggest point. People will buy a game if it's good. Like, if it's actually a good game and respects the consumers and the gamers' time. Like League of Legends. is an intensely popular game, and it respects the user's time. There's no battle pass bullshit that I feel like I have to do at all. There's like a TFT one. I don't play TFTs. I don't give a fuck, and I don't bother with it, and it's no sweat off my back. It's just a good game you can play for an hour, single game if you want, play through it, whatever, and stop. Same with TFT itself. I don't play TFT, but the thing is, like, if a game is good, even if you disagree with like the balancing, like I do in League of Legends at certain times, it's still a good game. And that's why millions of people play it. That's why millions of people are willing to part with thousands of dollars, sometimes on a single person, for very, very silly skins. They're good quality. They respect the user's time. They're like, you know what? You're paying $20 for this skin. We're going to make it a really cool fucking skin. And you're going to really, really like this skin. And you're going to pay for it and enjoy paying for it. That is how, like, this microtransaction business should work. It's the rare... I don't even like microtransactions. I don't pay for most skins. Dude, League is so good at respecting the user's time. I can go right here to this little button called loot. And I can open up... I completely forget because I'm like... I don't really care too much about skins anyways. I have, like, all of these little, like, boxes thingies that I get completely for free. Just for playing the game. Just for hitting high honor level. They just give me free skins. They just throw them at me. I can use skins that I have no interest in right down here on this tab. I can combine them into a skin I do like. That's how much League and Riot Games respects your time. Like, dude, it's insane. It's crazy. League's currencies and dreams and screams. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. League's currencies are in the souls of its players. It just breaks you when you play it. I'm kidding. But no, legitimately, like, dude, the monetization in League is one reason I still play League. Because it is actually respectful monetization. It's shockingly respectful. It's weird. Like, oh my god, it reminds me of, like, early age Blizzard, when they actually respected the player base. And now they're, starting to turn back that way a little bit in certain ways and shapes and forms, and hopefully they continue that trend. And I will continue calling Blizzard and Activision out whenever they do bullshit, as you well know. But when they make small W's, I also do call out the small W's. I think it's always important to call out the good along with the bad. But yeah, the League's monetization is one of their huge W's. They have very good monetization.
You have to have a target audience.
Yeah,
it's basic.
Yeah, exactly. Microsoft will make Blizzard better,
and they don't have one. They just think, well, if we make the live service, they come. No, that's not how this works. And even if you did make a good live service game, if you're not positioning that,
a lot of people stream Pal World for funny meme shock value, Pokemon guns. Great excuse, I can tell you, buddy. I am going to play it for that exact reason. I'm going to play it for that literal exact reason. When Pal World launches, we're playing it day one here, by the way. I want you guys to know. I'm 100% going to play that. It's Pokemon with guns. It looks really stupid. I'm absolutely going to play it. 100%. Will it be long-lived? I have no idea if the game is going to be good. I hope it is. It looks very silly. And, I mean, I'll tell you if it's good or not. Like, guys, I'm going to give you, like, the honest opinion when we play it. Like, oh, man, this is actually fun. Or, man, this feels like shit. I will tell you the exact thing. The premise is fun, Hamshank. We have no idea if the gameplay is... I don't know. Wait, if you played the beta, tell me. Because, like, I have not played any of it. I've not talked to anyone who's actually played Pal World. But I sincerely hope it's going to be good. Like, I hope so. Is it going to be fun? Hopefully. But we'll make good content out of it either way. For money, no thanks. Yeah, that's why I'm going to showcase it to you, Chaotic Kangaroo. Because it's, like, going to be a relatively niche game. And it's something that people are going to be interested in, at least on some level, because it has, like, survival mechanics, which I like. It has building mechanics, which I like. It has Pokemon, which we all like. And maybe it'll be good. Maybe we'll find an indie gem. It's an indie game. So if it's not good, we will absolutely tell you. But if it is good, you'll have it here. There we go.
Properly for your target audience, the regular customers,
we'll give you the honest opinion,
the money that
and DJ Gnome, how are you, Sweet Bean?
In the place that it is today, you're still not going to succeed. Why? because it's brand loyalty. People are loyal.
Also, I mean, yes, brand loyalty is important, but also, guys, like a big point of live service games and why a lot of live service games fail is A, because a lot of live service games are just bad, and B, there's too many live service games. And the barrier for entry for a lot of these live service games are insane. Afraid, welcome back. We missed you, my friend. So, like, for example, dude, I will never play Destiny 2 because there's like 9 fucking expansions of Destiny 2, each of which change the game, and power creep is insane in that game, according to people who even play a lot of Destiny 2. Like, everything that you get in new expansion just negates everything you did in the previous expansion. So I don't know if I will ever play through Final Fantasy 14 because it is so long and I've missed so much. And I'm not allergic to FOMO, guys. Like, the FOMO for something like Final Fantasy 14 is such that at least it's a single player storyline as well. So that's like a point in its favor, which is one reason I might play through it. But man, it's like thousands of hours of shit that I don't know if I'll be able to get through. Like, I really don't know. And the first 80 hours, which is the weakest part of the game, the original game, before you get to the new stuff, the Realm Reborn stuff, is just bad. Like, I played like 10 hours of it, of early FF14. I think levels 1 through like 20 or something. And I was like bored out of my mind. Like, I was like, man, this is like the worst gameplay ever. Like, honestly, this is really fucking boring. So yeah, I don't know. Look at above. You have to retype it, Hamshank. I missed it, buddy. I missed it. So yeah, I am going through a lot of chat is moving fast, my friend. So I do apologize. I cannot scroll up. 24 gamble rank resets in 1 week. We love Destiny 2. Yeah, that's the problem with Destiny 2. Tiny bit of the beta and business yourself laughing. Okay, so they were fun. Okay, good. So the beta was fun, Hamshank, for Pal World. That's good news. That's good news. I'm looking forward to it, buddy. We will be playing it day 1 in here, so get ready for that.
To the things that they are. That's as simple as that.
Xylem,
people that play Grand Theft Auto 5 likely are the people that played Grand Theft Auto 4, Grand Theft Auto 3. They're probably not 2. I played 2. It's an over-the-head game.
Over the you mean overhead view?
With that said,
top down?
If you don't know who your target audience is and you're not positioning your products properly to make sure that they are resonating with that audience, then you're just not going to do well. And
I played Grand Theft Autos like 1 through Vice City. I still haven't touched 5 because of the microtransactions. I'm like the exact opposite. I don't know.
For the fact that
I don't know if that's weird or not.
So disconnected from their audiences that they don't know their needs nor care about them and think that they're going to be able to just go and make them sweet.
When they decided to re-release Grand Theft Auto 5 separate times, it kind of like rankled with me. It like kind of got under my skin. Like, you saw it on the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer thing that I was talking about earlier. We have a video for that on the YouTube as well. And man, like, dude, they've been coasting, man. Like, let's be real. Rockstar has been absolutely coasting. I remember when they made games, like, often. And they haven't made anything except coasting on the heels of the previous games for a very long time. Like, Red Dead Redemption 2, sure. But even with that, they had the online live service component. And you're like, dude, come on, man. I remember when you didn't even bother doing this shit. I don't know. That might be like me sounding old.
Sweet microtransaction dollars, you are going to be sorely surprised when you find out you can't.
Right.
Schreier continues with, but the track record for companies that pivot to multiplayer is dismal.
Recent forgot about Anthem.
Like Anthem, Redfall, and Marvel's Avengers all keep...
dude. Okay, this is why I respect Jason Schreier as a online journalist for video games. He's one of the few decent ones. It's because he actually agrees with me and I have good takes. But Anthem, I completely forgot about. I never played Anthem, but I know Anthem was a giant failure. That it was still like it had really, really cool aspects, and it was just brutal that it sucked so badly. Red Dead 2 was abandoned 3 years ago. It hadn't have a live service update in those 3 years because it didn't make as much as online as GTA 5. Yeah, exactly. So it was a failed online component. Exactly my point, Dartsup. Exactly, buddy. Exactly. And they were still coasting on people buying Red Dead Redemption 2, the single player, because apparently it's a really good single player game. That's totally fine. But man, They put a lot of development hours and development money into making that online. I can tell you that much right now. And they absolutely failed. Absolutely. Yeah, Tex, dude. We do this often. Hell yeah, man. I hope you enjoy it. I love talking about games as a business and talking about like the industry side, giving you guys some perspective as much as I can. So I hope you guys do enjoy it.
From game studios that had previously been beloved for their single-player titles.
Right.
Nobody wants Suicide Squad to suffer the same fate.
But it is going to.
No wonder this weekend that following the previews, fans continue to repeat a rumor that won't die, that the developers at Rocksteady had originally pitched a game about Superman, which was rejected by Warner Brothers,
Wait,
and
what?
the company was instead forced to make this one.
Holy shit. I would love a good single-player Superman game. That would be insane. And Draw29, welcome, buddy. We miss you. Hope you're having a great night. Yeah, dude. Superman. Man, would you guys want a Superman game? A single-player Superman game? Because, like, I really dig Superman as a character. And I think people make the mistake of thinking he's boring. And I don't think he's boring, guys. I think he's just, like, he's been poorly written. Over the past while. Like, I think people didn't like Batman versus Superman the movie and the Justice League movie and so on because they kept trying to make him gray. Like, Superman is not supposed to be morally gray. I had this argument with someone on Twitter talking about, bro, we don't want to see Superman, save a cat from a tree. He has bigger fish to fry. People like that are why we got the fucking stupid movies of Batman versus Superman and so on and so forth that were like giga dark and everything like that. I still like parts of those movies, but man, they completely misunderstood Superman and completely wasted Henry Cavill in it. But like, holy smokes, they absolutely shit the bed because Superman is the guy who would save a cat from a tree. There's some of my favorite panels are him just doing the small, kind gestures and doing it for as many people as possible because he's Superman and he wants people to be happy. He wants to help them. He's literally the avatar of altruism, doing good just to do good. Yeah, Plastic Man would be cool, but almost no one knows Plastic Man. He's like a relatively niche character. But yeah, like, Plastic Man is really, really fun, but like a lot of people know Plastic Man. But like a really good Superman game where you can like save a cat from a tree. Holy shit. Open world style, like a really well made though, like Spider-Man. Can you imagine that kind of game? Dude, that game would be awesome. I think that would be really, 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 really awesome. Holy smokes.
In reality, Rocksteady
what do you guys
never
think?
pitched
Superman
or
game,
worked
W
on
or
a
L?
Superman game, according to people familiar with the company's strategy over the last decade. Following the release of Arkham Knight in 2015, the studio began working on a
Is Arkham Knight the most recent Arkham game, guys? Because like okay. That was 9 years ago. That's a really long time. I'm curious how many people that worked on all the Arkham games actually worked on this game. Like, is it still the same team? Because like, if you, it's like the ship of Theseus. How much of the ship do you replace before it's a different ship? Pretty much none. Well, that explains why. I don't know. It's weird.
Batman VR game, and then an
Draw29, we're at 34 concurrent viewers, my friend.
In the original franchise.
We only do the giveaway when we hit 40.
Has not been previously reported.
We do the giveaway often.
Another notable entry from Schreier says
bring your friends over.
The really bad news for Rocksteady.
Also, Draw. In the meantime, my friend, as we've not seen you in a while, you should definitely catch the YouTube. There's a lot of awesome content. If you're liking the just chatting rants that we're doing right now, we're talking about gaming as a business and so on, and like the goods and the bads and the uglies and buyer beware style. We do a bit of that. If you like gameplay, we have a lot of the gameplay from indie games to AAAs, and you can enjoy all of that content as well for free at your own leisure, any time of day or night. Absolutely. That YouTube link drop. Open world story game driven from a serial killer's perspective, committing murders, how to cover tracks, evade capture. Yeah, I mean, maybe Chaotic Kangaroo, but like, I don't know. I'd be a little worried about like how detailed that game would be. Like, I worry for the day we get into like the realm of Uncanny Valley in VR, where people do shit in VR just because they can't do it in real life, and it's like bad stuff, and it's so realistic. It's like how they get the rocks off. Like, I'm not saying that's you, Chaotic, by any means whatsoever, but I'm just like looking for in the future. This is the shit that keeps me up at night. This is like the shit that creates a dystopia, and it worries me a little bit. Like, Hitman, you're a hitman. Like, it's a little cartoony almost. Like, it's a little comical. It's its own little world, like John Wick style or whatever. And I think that disconnect is, at least for me personally, a bit important. I don't know if I want to play a game that's hyper realistic where you're a serial killer personally. Like, I kind of need that little like thing where it's supposed to be not real for whatever reason, you know? Like, I'm no prude when it comes to like playing ultra violent games or something. But I kind of like having a disconnect from reality, because reality is already very ugly, you know? Personally is how I feel about that. Many people in Rocksteady wanted to make a fifth Arkham game. They were told no, which is why Arkham Knight ends how it ends. But over the years since Arkham Knight, much of the senior staff left and went somewhere else or retired. You see, that's what happens a lot of times, Dartsup. Yeah, when game companies when devs are not allowed to make the game that they want, they just leave, and they should.
Is that the market
it's really sad when it happens.
Saturated. Even if the new Suicide Squad game overcomes low expectations and turns out to be a fantastic product,
which is not going to happen. Also, dude, low expectations is like such a misnomer here, man. The expectations aren't low. The expectations are like 6 feet underground. The expectations are so bad.
It's hard to imagine a new multiplayer live service game succeeding in an era where even stalwarts like Destiny can't seem to grow.
Oh, hey, dude. Yeah, well, I mean, I talked about why Destiny. First of all, like I said, Destiny is like 9 fucking expansions. The other problem is Destiny's not even good. People who like Destiny are like, yeah, they're kind of regressing in many ways. Like, I don't know. And you're like, dude, that's really, really bad. Like, so even people who play Destiny are liking Destiny less. And also, like, it's just too much. It's just 9 expansions too much. You have to buy every single expansion. That's like, you have to pay like almost $1,000 to enjoy Destiny at this point. Like, that's ridiculous, man. That's absolutely insanity.
And there's a lot to say here. And one of the things that I'm seeing that a lot of these studios are having an issue with is that they don't realize that there is a level of investment that comes with players that are playing live service games to begin with. If you think you're capturing a new live service audience, people that haven't played live service games before.
The only people who play a lot of live service games are people who already play live service games. I agree with that basic premise point, yeah. Because, like, dude, if you play Fortnite, chances are you play Apex. If you play Apex and Fortnite, chances are you played a little bit of PUBG as well. If you played a little bit of PUBG, you probably played a little bit of DayZ. If you play all those, probably play a little bit of COD. And they kind of like move from one game to the other.
That aren't playing live service games are avoiding them on purpose. That's the reason why they're playing games like the Batman Arkham series or something like that.
Yeah,
now with that said,
I don't want to play live service bullshit.
That's required for these players to be in games like Grand Theft Auto 5, Destiny, or Fortnite, because many of those players are probably not going to come and play your game because they're already financially and invested with their own interests in those other games. You're really unlikely to pull them across to yours with all of this busy work, got to play every single day.
And also the games suck. Like, dude, these new live service games are just bad. Like, you can't give me a 4 out of 10 product. And like, say I was a Fortnite player. And so for people who play Fortnite, they're like, man, this game is goated. It's 10 out of 10. I play it like, you know, a couple of times a month. I still play it. I've been playing it for 10 years. Blah, blah, blah. Those people consider Fortnite a 10 out of 10. This game is trying to siphon that audience, and it's going to be like a 3 out of 10, probably at best. You can't give me a 3 out of 10 game after I'm playing a 10 out of 10 game and expect me to move over to a 3 out of 10 game. Like, it's a 3 out of 10. I would play this if you paid me. What the fuck?
Got to get that login bonus, got to farm up these currencies and things like that. it's really difficult to get a live service game off the ground, and it's a huge gamble to do so in the first place. It's even more,
and it's more
a gamble
expensive
when you're doing it with a studio
hundreds
that's
of
known for
millions of
products that are
dollars to make
mostly
these
single
shitty
player.
live service
You're
games.
not appealing to that audience. Those players do not want to play this game. This isn't the game that interests them. You're aiming for an audience that you don't even have yet.
Going back to the single player games that we're looking forward to, guys, like, have you seen the leaks for the Wolverine game? Like, I'm not gonna cover them because I don't believe in like covering leaks that directly harm people and stuff, and that one did because it had like a lot of people, like a lot of the developers, their personal info got leaked, and it was like really, really bad shit. But man, I saw that play for the Wolverine game. It looks really good. Like, it actually looks good. And I'm like, man, this is like Arvin, like the Arkham style. Like, there might be some Arkham devs on it because you have some of the similar mechanics and such. Combo hits and different move sets that blend into each other seamlessly and so on and so forth. And it's like heavily single player narrative. Holy shit, man, that looks good. It looks really, really, really good. Mass Effect 5? Nah, I never even played Mass Effect 1 through 3, bro. I'm like so far behind on Mass Effect. I've definitely not seen the Mass Effect news. And there is going to be a Wolverine game. Yes. Yes. And it feels like it has a lot of the Arkham DNA in it, Steel Zipper. So that might be the game you're looking for, man. When an official trailer or anything is announced for Wolverine, I'll cover it. But probably not until then.
It's oversaturated with people that are invested in other games.
Yeah.
It blows my mind.
There's too much time.
People even have jobs. And the worst part is, these are the same folks that, at the end of the day,
the executives? Dude, the executives have jobs because they're shareholders. One thing you'll notice with all of these game companies doing the same shit of like going for the live service tripe is that they're all from publicly traded companies. And they're all trying to make the next $1 billion for their shareholders so they can take a giant bonus home and a nice little pat in the back, and their stock goes up because they have stock in the company. That is the only reason. There's a reason that a lot of indie games are single player non-live service games. Why? Because they don't have shareholders. They don't care. They're going to make a good game and try to sell it and make a good profit. It doesn't have to be $1 billion, and it's just going to be a good profit, and they'll be happy. Shocker that is an effective system. It's been the system for such a long time for a reason. It's effective. Everyone leaves happy. You sell your game for a good amount of money, $30 for, a solid chunk of game, 20 hours, 10 hours, something like that. And it's a good game. We play it. We enjoy it. When we're done with it, we're done with it. Everyone leaves happy. They've made 20 times, 30 times the amount of money they put into making the game. So they're very, very happy. We're playing a good game, so we're happy. The scores are good. The quality is good. Everyone is happy. Like, why is this so hard for game companies to understand? With every Anthem that they tried to make, they could have made literally 10, 15 good games that all would have had return on profit. Absolutely. What about the day before? Oh yeah, day before is an exact example. Well, day before was not even made by a big game company. I'm talking about big game companies. Dots up. I'm talking about big game companies that run into this trap. The day before was just a scam, and I covered the shit out of that scam. It was, dude, I only wish that I had been on YouTube sooner for the day before, because I had covered the day before on stream, but over the years, and I'd showcase the videos of them stealing assets and so on and so forth 3 years ago, and everything, and those were really, really interesting things, and they would have made great YouTube videos, man. I probably would have been a decent sized YouTuber now if I had started YouTube all the way back when. I didn't have the time or money or wherewithal to be able to do it, so water on the bridge. But man, I look back on those and I'm like, man, I could have milked the day before so much harder. I could have done that so much more. Oh man. Live service game is a game that you have to be always online, Cheddarfish, and it will get updates pretty much every few months or something. And because it gets updates every few months, their monetization is that you have to pay for certain things every few months, whether it's via Battle Pass or via microtransactions that are heavily monetized or some other system. So sometimes it can be done well, like the example I gave with League of Legends. You can play the entire game for free. Hell, they'll even throw free skins at you to the point that I don't really, mind. And I don't even have to buy any skins myself. And it feels good to play the game. And it still gets updates every year. They make enough money from all the free, from all the non-game changing skins, so there's no pay for power. And it avoids a lot of the pitfalls of other live service. And then there's live service games where you can play the game for free and buy power, like a lot of mobile games. And basically, it's like Diablo Immortal is probably one of the worst examples of live service, where it is literally buying power. It is literally the most inherently disgusting, toxic style of monetization possible. And that's like the dark side of live service. And unfortunately, most live service games are on that dark side of live service at this point. I would say the majority of live service games are bad live service. There's still some good ones, and there's quite a few good ones. Valorant, even though Valorant's very expensive, people seem very happy to play Valorant and do the battle passes and shit like that. And people seem much less so on Overwatch, for example. But they still share a lot of the same stuff. You buy skins. You don't buy power. You do not buy power. Sorry, I was trying to be clear. You have battle pass and so on. But those battle passes are used for skins and then the rewards of sprays and emotes and stuff like that. And so but Valorant is apparently, according to Valorant players, more fairly monetized than Overwatch is. And that's fine. But yeah. Yeah, exactly. 15 million power in Rise of Kingdoms. Yep, there you go. There you go. I also miss Overwatch 1. I didn't even like Overwatch 1, to be fair.
Who's going to get laid off? It's definitely not the executives. It's definitely not the people that are on the board.
I heard.
It's not the
To be fair, though, Hamshank, Blood Bowl 3, I heard, released in a giga broken state as well. So a lot of the live service games release in a really, really bad state. And they're like, don't worry, by season 1, we'll fix it. And then they don't. Or they fix like some small things. And sometimes season 1 breaks things worse, like Diablo 4. And so on and so forth. So like that's the really, really other big bad side of live service for sure. Like, dude, I love Diablo 4. I played Diablo 4 a shit ton at launch. Season 1 was ass, and season 2 was really good. But will season 3 be good? I have no clue. It's really a coin toss. A coin toss. God, a coin toss. Holy shit. I could not say that phrase.
It's the designers. It's the developers. They'll be the ones to blame. The studio is the one that is going to suffer the most as a result of this. And that's really sad to see, especially for a studio that has done such great work.
Halo Infinite.
For quite
broken
a while
campaign,
now.
everything.
But
yeah.
They've worked for over half a decade on a live service game that it's just not going to work.
Season 2 is better than season 1. I don't know if I'd call it good. Dude, season 2 was goated. Season 2 fixed every single issue we've had with the game in some at least small way. The level of detail that they put in trying to fix the issues of season 2, compared to season 1 especially, was absolutely mind-boggling. I've never, ever, ever seen Blizzard do that. Chaotic Kangaroo. So I guess it's like, past its precedence kind of thing. Like, it was just, my bar was low, so the results were much higher than expected kind of thing. So I really liked playing season 2 of Diablo 4. It was really cool. The blood season was really, really cool. The vampire stuff was awesome. They were like throwing legendaries at you, man. Holy crap. Season 2 was so fun. And we going on my birthday. Hey, Nick Fidelis, buddy. Stream has been very good, and happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Nick Fidelis. Very happy birthday to you. We love you, Nick. We love you, man. And very, very happy birthday. Countless happy returns. And also, we all wished you happy birthday in the Discord as well. Dude, okay, but hear me out, man. Hear me out. You were talking about Chaotic Kangaroo. You got to level 100, and then it got stale. How much time does it take you to get to level 100? It takes at least 40 hours, 50 hours? Playing a game once every 3 months or so for 30, 40 hours after paying for the game once is really good. If you're enjoying that leveling system, which I do, it's really, really good. Like, I don't think you have to play. I don't think anyone should play nothing but a single game all the time. Like, there's going to be a point where you run out of content and it feels stale. And it should. Because if there isn't, you didn't enjoy your time though. Oh, I don't know why that is. I'm so sorry, buddy. See, I enjoyed my time. Like, I didn't continue playing it. I didn't even get to a level 100 in Diablo 4 Season 2. And I think that's okay. I still played Season 2 for a solid 30 hours. I did a lot of dicking around, and that's why I didn't level to 100. But I was enjoying it, and I enjoyed every single moment I played the game. And then I stopped playing it, and I'm good, and I'm gonna try Season 3 when it comes out, and I'm okay with it being a very long form game that I play a few dozen hours of every few months, and I enjoy it, have a lot of fun with it. I don't have to buy into any battle pass bullshit because there's nothing that you're forced to do with it, which is nice, and I enjoy it that way, and I'm done, and that's it. I can make a barbarian and whirlwind and rage at something and have fun, and then I'm done. And it's very, very mindless in some ways, and not a bad mindless, like a cathartic, relaxing mindless. And I like that we have games like that. I think it's important to have games like that, personally. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, I personally feel like I got more than my money's worth out of Diablo 4. Like, I've gotten way more than $70 worth.
So somebody is going to suffer the consequences of that.
I played the game for maybe like 200 hours, people in charge, if not more.
I think one of the things that bothers me about this when I read stories like this or I see games like this come out is that there's this fundamental misunderstanding between what the players want, what the players need, and how to be able to service them properly so that...
I agree with him, but I think the thing that pisses me off the most is that gamers, a lot of times, don't respond in the most, I guess, useful way either. Like, gamers are, like I said, so insular and so argumentative that people, as gamers on Twitter and social media, they generally don't call out bad behavior. That's why we had so much bad behavior from game companies like EA and such for so long. It is insane. Like, oh my God.
You can make a profit. I realize that a lot of these companies want to get these live service games.
And that's why we keep getting this shit.
Get your money. But do it in a way that you're actually going to be able to service an audience in the first place.
I agree with that.
It doesn't make a lot of sense to do otherwise. And by the way, this is the same kind of people that believe that RPG games are dead, that turn-based RPG games are dead. However...
Dude, I bet he's going to say Baldur's Gate 3, because he should. Baldur's Gate 3 was like the shining beacon in the darkness, man. Holy shit, man. Baldur's Gate 3 was so good. I haven't even continued with it yet. Like, I'm waiting because, like, it's just like there's so much I'm excited to do, and there's so much other stuff that I'm doing. But it's like such a great game that I know that even if I play it 20 years from now, I'm still gonna love it. And I'm obviously not gonna wait that long. We'll probably play it next week. But it's just crazy that I've played like 150 hours, I would estimate, of Baldur's Gate 3. I've only been past, probably like 1/3 the way through Act 1 on any run. And I've made 12, 13 different new characters and gone through the beginning of the game again and again and again, to the point that it is still good and it still feels fresh, even though I played that same part of the storyline like 13 fucking times. That's how good it is, man. That is how good it is. It's so good. And dude, that is an exact example of a game company that gets it, man. Larian Studios is like, hey, let's release a really complete game, and it is full price, and you don't have to buy any microtransactions at all whatsoever. And it's turn-based. It's slow. You have to think about your solutions. You got to think about your decisions. You got to weigh the costs and benefits of, should I, fuck with this character, and, maybe it'll backfire on me and I'll go to jail, or the character will try to kill me, or whatever, and so on and so forth. And I'm going to interweave and create an entire storyline based on this one small decision you make at the very, very beginning of the game, and it'll pan out to something later on. And it feels like an actual interwoven story. And we make it with love. We work on it for 10 years. And guess what? They made what, hundreds of millions of dollars on it? And good for them. They made it. That's the dream. Everyone is happy with Baldur's Gate 3. It won Game of the Year in like 50 different ways. Yeah, like 400 to 600 million. Yeah, exactly. I just estimated hundreds of million. I don't know how many hundreds, but yeah, exactly. 90 hours in Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah, because I played it a lot, Mage, when I was at home, and I created like some random characters at home, at my mom's, and I was offline. So Steam does not count offline time. And also there were some times where I was on stream and I was offline, kind of thing. So that's why the numbers are a little fuckoed like that, Mage. I pretty much all of my game time with pretty much any game is higher than the Steam game, than the Steam thingy. Like it's a great game that I can play single player as well. And I don't ever go past where I've been on stream because I want to play the first experience with all of you lovely beings here. But yeah, that's exactly why, Mage. Anyways, but yeah, and they made a good game, and it made insane profit for them, which is really good, and everyone is happy. That it shows that this is possible to large game companies. I hope. And I mean, we've had a lot of good single player games, so I don't think like people don't get single player. Sorry, I guess like narrative experience style, like really detailed games. But I will agree that it was rare for like turn-based to get the spotlight. Like people are so crazy about action games, and I love action games as well. But man, it's so nice to see a slower-paced turn-based game really, really get the accolades it deserves. And I think it introduced a lot of people to the beauty of turn-based as well. And it's just a good game. Like, dude, there's a lot of bad turn-based games out there as well. But there's a lot of turn-based gems. Oh god, it did not change, but I'll have to wait till the end of this video. Yeah. I was gonna do it at the end of the video.
Proven wrong.
You have like 3 hours
in a year in
left.
which 2023.
But thank you for the
all
reminder.
The games of the year, the game of the year nominees, the best games, all the games that were the most purchased last year, none of them were live service.
Yeah. Well, okay. I mean, in my top 10, I had a couple live services. I had Diablo 4 in my top 10. It wasn't like the best game of the year by any means whatsoever, but it was still a good game. Like, I mean, Baldur's Gate 3, Alan Wake 2, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, Resident Evil 6, Resident Evil 4 remake. I mean, Starfield was in my top 10. I don't think it was like even close to the top 5, but I still really like Starfield. I think it's, there's issues with the game for sure, but I think it's inherently just a good and fun game. Like, it's just a good game in a year of truly amazing games. Apparently Jedi Survivor was really, really good after all the bugs were taken care of which there were many bugs. Like, all of these games were single player games. He's right on that. That's actually true. Number one issue is Bethesda. I don't think so. I think I don't think that's the issue, dude. Like I said, it's a good game in a year of truly amazing games. And also the big issue with the game is that it's inherently a very, very broad game, and people want a little bit more tight knit stuff. So whereas, how do I explain this? Starfield does a lot of things new and very, very broad. And the details are missing in certain aspects of the game. And that is why people didn't like it as much. But it still sold well, and people will still be playing Starfield 10 years from now, easily. Because it is so broad. Bethesda specializes in making very, very broad games. Now, do I hope they're able to make like a truly, for Elder Scrolls 6, which is, I think they're going to be hopefully their next big game. Do I hope that they really, really go back to a formula of like, a Morrowind or Oblivion where they focus really, really heavily on like the single player RPG mechanics? I really hope so. Because man, I love the intricate RPG mechanics. But I do tell you that when I played Starfield, and we haven't finished it by any means or anything, we haven't even got back to it yet, because there's so many good games to play. Starfield is a game that gave me a lot of faith back into Bethesda, because they had done so many missteps in Fallout 4 and in Skyrim that like I was like, can they even make like decent RPG mechanics anymore? Like, can they tell really silly stories anymore? Can they do this? Like, is this still in Bethesda's lexicon, or did they just like, you know, lose too many good people or something? Like, I don't know. And they did a lot of those things that I was hoping for in Starfield. Like, a lot of the NPCs are really, really fleshed out. Like the random dudes that you meet off the street and so on. Like, a lot of the side quests have really intricate detail. The lore in the game is great. And these were things missing from Fallout 4 in a big way, and from Skyrim in a big way. And I'm really happy with that. Like, that is super cool. That was really, 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 really good. So it just proves to me that their next game can be even better. It wasn't the greatest game by any means, but it proved that they learned some of their lessons. And I think that is totally fine. It was a successful game, and they've learned their lessons, and hopefully they will continue to learn more lessons, because I can tell you, like, all the stuff that we have issues with, you know, like the faces being weird and so on and so forth, they're listening to that. They are listening. Will they fix it for Starfield? Probably not. Will they fix it for their next game? Dude, they're not having fools that run their company, man. Bethesda is Bethesda for a reason. So yeah, I think they've learned their lessons a bit, which is good, and that is what I wanted to get out of Starfield.
Heck, most of them didn't even have multiplayer. It's just disappointing. It really is. And it really just comes down to the fact that you have people that are in charge that are appealing to investors but have no idea anything about the industry itself.
They're just trying to, I have no idea what that is.
Trend chase and follow everybody else. And the worst part is that since they're doing it now, they're
trend chasing happens with everything
already.
Though.
If they started developing this game in 6-7 years ago, 8 years ago, something.
Also, game development is inherently extremely expensive and very, very long at a AAA, like, super, super detailed level. Like, dude, they started making Starfield 10 years ago. And that's why, like, certain things are aged out. Like, dude, I bet you they made their faces and shit for the characters in that game, like, 10 years ago. And they're like, man, this looks great. But now, I mean, the faces look a little wonky. Why? It's not particularly bad. It's just old. And it's just the way they did face rigging for so very long that they can't really change it at the turn of a dime. It's just such a big ship, it's hard to steer, you know? It's one of those situations. And that's like a big problem with the gigantic AAA games. Like, it's really, really, really difficult.
Like that? Well, if that's the case,
you
the
streamer
trends
got,
have
oh, I
changed
got
by the
you,
time that game gets released. You're not going to be able to make the next.
Yeah, I applied to get access to Palworld earlier. I didn't hear back from the developers.
Time that you were making that game,
I might be. I run into this problem a lot, Hamshank, where I'm just too small for a lot of indie games to even like look at. Which is, I mean, it is what it is. It just gives me drive to, you know, get bigger as a community and such, moving forward and try to be more successful and such. But yeah, I've not heard from the Palworld devs, so I don't have a key or anything to play early. There's a lot of streamers playing Palworld right now, or I think they were talking about how they give out a lot of content creation keys early, as of today, and the game officially releases on the 19th. I'll probably have to wait and buy it myself, unfortunately, on the 19th, Hamshank. But nah, I'll still try to make it worth it until then.
What these companies need to do is they need to start looking to the future. They need to start to predict trends rather than chase them, because
they've been trying to predict trends. They're just predicting the wrong trends. Because the people predicting the trends are not the people who play games, guys. That's the thing. That's what I've said this a couple of times. I don't think he gets it. Granted, he's not hearing me, but like, the problem is that the marketers who predict these trends are fucking shills for live service because they're seeing dollar signs. That's the trends that they're chasing. They're not chasing the gameplay trends.
The only thing that you're going to do as a result is you're going to lose your fans. You're going to disappoint the audience that you've already captured.
I agree with this.
You're probably going to ruin your studios at the end of the day.
A lot of studios have been ruined
across the industry for
a
lot
now. Oh man, it makes me so sad.
Thinking to myself, looking at some of the games that have come out over the last couple of years, and I'm like, who are you making this for?
Yeah,
look at the
Goblin
game.
Before, yeah.
Who was that for? Redfall. Who was that for?
Yeah.
The King Kong game. What are you doing?
Well, the King Kong game was different because it wasn't a AAA game. It wasn't a AAA live service game. The King Kong game was at least them trying to make like a single player game. It was just shit. It was like they made a game for like $200 and they thought they could sell it, and it was just not good, and everyone shit on it because it was just a bad game in every single way. But it wasn't made by like WB though, so I wouldn't really use that as an example. But like, it was made for a specific audience. It was just bad, you know. Like, I don't know.
It's like people in charge don't realize or know who they're selling to. They don't have a face. They're not putting a face to the audience. I'm going to give you guys an odd example. So when I first started YouTube, I started a little podcast channel with me and my buddy, and we just talked about games. And the YouTube channel never got any traction. Nobody ever really came to watch it.
It's a very saturated market.
Every once in a while would come by. And then one day I just woke up and thought to myself, you know, looking at other podcasts, people watch podcasts because they're people of authority or they're famous. And me and my friend were neither. So then what I did is that I just started making videos because I wanted to make myself a person of either authority.
It's so funny because people were telling me I should make a podcast. And I'm like, I don't even know the first thing about making a podcast. This guy went through it. Apparently it's a really bad idea. Thank God.
Or purpose or of interest. And I
had irony.
Some minor success to it. I have a decent YouTube channel and a great community that watches my videos.
We missed you, Moondrake. It's so good to have you here.
That humble nature to be able to look at yourself, look at what you're making, look at the audience that you're trying to serve.
It's just self-reflection. And like I was saying, how we've lost shame as a society, we've also lost self-reflection as a society as well. People are so unwilling to be like, you know, maybe I'm bad at this. What was the last time you looked at some kind of like narcissistic asshole and he actually said, you know, maybe I'm bad at something. Maybe I don't know the thing I'm talking about. They never do. It's because they have no self-reflection. And a lot of the worst people out there do not self-reflect in any way, shape, or form. Self-reflection, I feel, is like a lost art in general. But like, I definitely see a correlation with lack of self-reflection and like bad takes and asshole buffoonery, especially on the internet. I feel like as the lack of self-reflection goes up, you definitely see the asshole buffoonery, toxic nature, narcissism bullshit go up as well. The classic definition of narcissist. Yeah, exactly. Like, and like the same thing happens with game companies. Like WB lacks self-reflection. They're unwilling to say, hey, this game is going to fail like literally 5 other games that are the exact same carbon copies essentially beforehand. And we're making this game. And we're going to double down and make more. They lack self-reflection. And they're going to get shit on and lose hundreds of $millions for it. And you know what? They deserve it. Fuck them.
Face to that audience
Straight
and understand who that audience is.
I feel bad for the devs
before you
that are passionate.
Ever even think about trying to sell them anything.
But for the execs,
the worst part is that many of these studios have forgotten our faces. They only see the dollars.
Dude, WB never knew our faces. They're not gamers. No gamer looks at this game and is like, yeah, this is gonna be good. No, they're not the ones making this game.
And over the next few years, we're going to see that many of these studios, especially the AAA ones, while they will still be profitable, you're going to start to see some of these outliers pop up, these AA and single A studios that are going to start stealing away a lot of their money.
They already are.
Ones that are way ahead of the trends.
They already are.
They ain't chasing.
Good video, though.
Anyway.
Honestly,
thank you guys for watching
very good video. W video. Give this guy a like and a sub. I already linked it before. I'll link it again. Let me grab it. Already liked and subbed on mine. And always important to support good creators, guys. I hope people support me when they think I am a good creator as well. And I will always support good creators. But yeah, this is definitely a massive trend in gaming. And dude, we have games like Vampire Survivors, which is quintessential indie game. And that's like driven the market for any kind of like top-down shooter or top-down survival or style game or anything like that, to the point that the games are called Survivors games. It's that good. and they're cheap, and they're quality, and they're fun. And we even have the mobile shills of those games now, guys. Like, holy crap, I've even played a few of them, and they're so bad. But like, we have the good ones, and people make good money making these games because they're simple to make. The costs are low, they're quality, and they have a good return, and everyone is happy with them. You can sell. It proves that you can sell a game for $6 if your costs are low enough, and you can make a good game and make a handsome profit on it. And that can be your life, and you're happy, and they're happy, as in the people who play it. And that's like a big example. It's an absolutely big example. Do you see the top 10 selling games of this? Do you mean 2024? Lethal Company is like 8th or something. Yeah, Lethal Company. Yeah, Lethal Company is another example. Complete indie game. Took the world by storm by just being a good game. They're like, hey, look at Phasmophobia. It's a really, really good game. But people don't like sometimes how detailed Phasmophobia is, and how, like, insular it is as well. It's a little too niche. So let's make a sillier version of Phasmophobia that's a little bit more accessible, go a little tongue-in-cheek with it and everything like that. And, that's what the game is. And that is what Lethal Company is. And that's why it's so popular. It's like a little bit sillier, more, a goofy version of Phasmo. And it has, like, a lot of the stuff I love from Phasmo, while also being more accessible and more silly and more for people to enjoy and everything. I love Phasmo too, exactly, Moondrakes, but I stopped playing Phasmo because of the community. And so far, at least, the Lethal Company community is pretty darn decent. So far, that can always change. Of all the reasons to boycott a game, dude, yeah, that's nuts, man. That's nuts. Yeah, it's like, let people live their lives. If they're if they're not harming others, that's the only reason. Not if it's something that harms others or something, that's a different story, obviously. But if it's for any other reason, dude, it's a live and let live situation. If you're not harming others and you're living your life, that's fine. Like, it's crazy. Anyways, that was a good talk, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the talk for our delve into the upcoming worst game of so far of 2024. There's a lot of good games coming out this year, but this is an egg, and we will see how it goes. I'll be right back. I have to go. I'll explain later. Okay, hope you're okay, Lana. Give me lots of love. BRB, my friends. Quick bathroom break.